So I want you to make yourself comfortable. And then allow yourself to arrive. Take a moment to feel the air on your skin. Notice the way that your clothes feel on your body. Pay attention to the places of the body where you are touching the ground. So it's this idea of bringing your attention into the back of your body. And while you're lying on the ground, we're not doing much movement here. We're just sensing. Maybe sensing some tingling, some pressure of where the body is connected to the ground. Maybe a feeling of gravity, making us heavy in our body as we rest on the earth, as we relax. Maybe there's a sense of coolness where you're touching the cool earth. Maybe it's a feeling of the breath from the inside out, helping you to sense the back of your body. Use this sensation, this awareness of sensation, of experience to ground you in the moment. This week I sat in on a global meditation with Jack Cornfield. There were more than 3,000 meditators tuning in, and he shared very openly with us his work that he's been doing lately. He's been working with a lot of first responders, and one of the big questions that they have for him was, how do I hold space for the experience? And how do I release when I'm in the moment? How do I remain calm? And one of the things that he has been teaching them is the value of ritual, of having something that is a ritual to help cleanse, to help shed, to help let go of any feeling or emotion or kind of experience that it is overwhelming for them in the moment. And when he shared that he's been teaching them, this, to take time in between each patient to wash their hands. And as they wash their hands, they pause, they take a breath in, visually imagine on the exhale the releasing of that moment with that patient as they move to the next patient. These little micro moments of tuning in and moving into a moment of peace before moving on to the next patient. This little tiny ritual, little tiny pause. And it got me thinking about us too, and not to make small of what first responders are going through. So what they're going through is a tremendous and horrific experience. But what about our day to day? What moments do we give ourselves to really cleanse, to release, to let go. If we're at home, working from home, how do we let go of that? How do we, if we have had a moment, a conversation with somebody that was heated, how do we let go of that? How do we sit with it and let it flow through us instead of getting stuck in the body or sticking with us mentally or emotionally, especially if it's something that we need to release in order to move back to peace. And so I thought maybe the breath tonight can be our ritual. Maybe we can explore the use of the breath and think of it as a technique or a method of releasing, of letting go. And so as you rest here for just a moment longer, perhaps gather up in your mind anything from today or yesterday, or maybe even worries of tomorrow, anything that you know is not going to serve you for the rest of the night before you go to sleep. And then take a nice deep breath in and fill up to your comfortable capacity. Find a little pause when you get to the top. And then exhale nice and slow so you can feel the whole breath release, the whole breath and sensation of your body. And let that be a way of releasing. Feel your body melting. Feel your body relaxing. And then try that again. Take a nice deep breath in, filling all the way up to your comfortable capacity. And then slowly release, letting the breath move down into your legs and out through your feet and back to the earth. Just letting whatever you want to let go of in this moment go back to the earth. And then keep doing that. Take a few cleansing breaths, purifying breaths. In yoga, we call this saucha. Saucha means cleanliness or purity. It's a way of releasing, letting go of that which does not serve in this moment. With every exhale, imagine that the breath is moving through your arms and out through your fingertips, like flowing water. Or maybe all the breath is moving through your back body, moving through all the places where you're touching the ground and moving down into the earth, like a river seeping through the cracks, down into the earth. Relaxing your eyes with every exhale, your cheeks, your jaw, relaxing your throat and your shoulders. And allow your breath to return to a nice, natural, easy breath, a gentle breath. And then go ahead and reach your arms up above your head. Feel free to straighten out your legs. And you're going to take a nice big body stretch now. And as you reach, I want you to feel free to wiggle your fingers. Feel free to roll your wrists, wiggle your toes, point and flex your feet. Taking any type of movement that will help to open the body, to let go of tension. Good. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bring your arms all the way back down by your sides. And so now we're going to explore the breath a little bit more. We're going to be paying attention to the top and the bottom of each cycle of breath. We're going to be moving dynamically, meaning connecting our movements with our breathing. But most importantly, I want you to pay attention to a little pause at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. And let that be a point of presence for you, of being in the moment. As you inhale, you're going to take your arms all the way up. Find a brief pause, a moment of clarity, suspension, and then exhale and bring your arms back down again. And as the arms come down, find that brief pause at the bottom of the exhale. Puppy says, "Mom, I want your attention now." Inhale and take the arms up. Finding a brief pause. And then exhaling and releasing the arms down. And finding a brief pause. Now I want you to keep going. Keep flowing at your own breath pace. This has been a theme for me this week. A couple of other lessons I've taught. The doggies were part of the equation. Good to see everybody's dogs this week. Take one more round. Just finding this rhythm. This will be your rhythm for the rest of our movements. We're going to use this breathing practice here for the rest of our movements. Okay, good. Now letting your arms relax for a moment. I want you to bend your knees. Go ahead and place your feet down. And then you're going to hug your right knee in towards your chest and give it a little squeeze and gently roll your right ankle around a few times in one direction and then the other. And then go ahead and switch sides. Left knee comes in, rolling the left ankle around a couple of times in one direction, and then the other. Good. Now go ahead and bring both knees in and just rock it out a little side to side. I want you to feel your lower back and your mid back and your upper back getting a nice massage. Feeling your back body. And then go ahead and bring yourself up to a seated position. You can either rock and roll your way up or roll to one side. And then from here, I want you to come to a stand. We're going to come right into a standing position. And so at the top of your mat, you're going to stand with your feet a comfortable hip distance width apart. And firmly place each foot. Feel each foot firmly rooted down, all 10 toes. And then allow your arms to relax by your sides. And you're going to turn your palms towards the camera. Yeah. And as you rotate your palms open towards me, you notice if your shoulders opened up a little bit here too. Maybe a feeling of the shoulder blades pressing onto the back. And now I want you to find some energy in your legs. So there's an activation of the muscles of the legs, but the knees don't lock. Okay, they're slightly baby bent. Now, we're going to move through a more lunar, more moon-like end of the day version of sun salutations. Okay. So for the first 2 rounds, since this may not be familiar to you, I want you to just listen very carefully so that you can learn the sequence and then flow and find your rhythm again. All right, so on your next inhale, you're going to bring your arms all the way up above your head. You're going to rotate your palms so they're facing in towards one another. And I want you to find that pause while you're here. And now as you exhale, circle your arms, hinge at your hips, and come down into a standing forward fold. Beautiful. And when you get to the bottom, release your head, release your neck, relax your arms. And now we're going to come all the way back up as we inhale. We're going to skip the halfway point. Bring the arms all the way up. Finding a brief pause here, energizing through your whole body, lifting your ribs, lifting your heart. We're going to come right back down now. Exhale. Taking your time as you get to the bottom. Good, releasing here. And now come back up again as you inhale. So this is our main practice here. This is the foundation. We're going to do this a few more times at our own breath pace. And then I'm going to gradually change the breathing practice while you do this. So take another moment here to just find a rhythm. Go ahead and do this 2 more times. Letting each exhale be that release for you. Paying attention to each sensation you feel in the body. Keeping your awareness tethered. Now inhale and come back up. Find that brief pause. Good. And now as you exhale, you're going to come down and we're going to hold the standing forward fold for 2 cycles of breath. That means you're going to just be here. You're going to stay here for the next inhale. Stay here for the next exhale. Take another full cycle of breath. Just noticing any sense of release here. Relax your shoulders. And then we're going to inhale and come all the way up. Firmly standing into the feet. And then we're going to exhale and come back down. And this time we're going to stay in standing forward fold, Uttanasana, for 3 full cycles of breath. So as you stay here, notice if you are experiencing a deepening. Maybe there's a bigger release happening in your standing forward fold. And then when you're finished with the 3 cycles of breath, and don't let me rush you, take your time. You're going to inhale to come all the way back up. Beautiful. Put your palms together. And then exhale and draw the hands to the heart this time. Good. Now take a moment to just stand in mountain pose. Feel your body. Notice your legs. Notice your shoulders. Relax your facial muscles. Just taking a brief pause. Okay, before moving on to the next set of postures. So go ahead and relax your arms. And we're going to now do a couple more standing postures. So I want you to bring your blocks to the front edge of your mat. And go ahead and step your right foot back. And we're setting up for warrior 1. You want to have a nice width of distance between the feet. Make sure that your feet are still a nice hip distance, comfortable distance apart, so you've got stability. The back heel is spun down towards the earth, and the foot is just slightly angled out. Now, go ahead and bend into your front knee and just float that knee right over the ankle and make sure that it's in line with the second toe. Now, go ahead and bring your arms all the way up. Good. And now, on your next exhale, you're going to lean over your front knee as you sweep your arms out and back. And so the shoulder blades squeeze towards one another, and we're kind of reaching through the fingertips. Good. Inhale and come back up. Arms float up. Good. And then exhale and lean over your front leg. Sweep your arms back. Now make sure that you're hugging your outer left hip in and that you're really rooting through both of your feet, keeping the front knee in line with the second toe. Good. Do this one more time. This is a nice stretch for the chest, the shoulders. It opens up the rib cage for the lungs to get more fresh air, more prana. Good. Inhale out. Good. And now stay here for a breath or 2 in warrior 1. Feel free to sink a little deeper into the front knee if the hips feel ready. Maybe they move a little closer to the earth. But keep reaching up through the sides of your waist. Keep lifting up through the heart. Maybe we lean back a little bit to open the chest. Good. And now from here, go ahead and exhale the arms out to the side. Bring your hands to your hips. And you're going to hop your right foot halfway in. So we're just narrowing the stance about halfway. Okay? And we're setting up now for a pose called pyramid pose, which is a hamstring stretch. So here's where you might want to take your blocks and just place them right on either side of your front foot so that they're there for you in case the floor isn't close enough when we come down. Okay? With pyramid pose, we want to have a general alignment of the two heels aligning with each other. So your front heel is kind of in line with your back heel. Scratch that. Move your right foot back to where it was before. Yes, a little bit of extra space here I think would be good. And then the body is turned towards the camera. And so there's this idea of squaring the shoulders off towards me. The hips, they move with the shoulders, but they don't necessarily end up squared off. They may, but if they don't end up that way, that's okay. There's probably good reason for it. Okay, so there's this idea of drawing the outer right hip back and staying really strong, outer left hip back, and staying really strong in your legs. Okay, now go ahead and bring your hands back to your hips. And I want you to hug your elbows behind you. So you're bringing your shoulder blades onto your back. You're going to take a nice deep breath in and you're going to lift through your heart space. You're taking a baby back bend. And then as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward at your hips. You're going to come down. And then go ahead and let your hands find their way to the blocks for a moment. And just get comfortable. If you need to widen the stance a little bit here, you can. Make sure that the knees are not locked out. There's a subtle, very baby bend, especially in the front knee. We're really pushing down through the ball, the mound of the big toe of the front foot, and firming up the muscles of the legs. Okay. Now, on your next inhale, the arms are going to float out to the side, and they're going to come all the way up, and you're going to stand up again. Beautiful. Okay. Pause for a moment here. And then as you exhale, you're going to come right back down. And now the hands can find the blocks. Good. And we're going to do this again. We're going to inhale and come up. Good. And now we're going to exhale and come down, and we're going to stay for 2 cycles of breath. So now as you stay, notice if anything's changed. If it feels appropriate to lower the blocks a setting or two, you can. If you prefer to hold your shin bone or maybe touch the earth instead, that's okay too. I want you to slowly awaken to the general kind of gradual stretch of your legs, your hamstrings. I want you to inhale and come back up again. Good. And then exhale and release again. And then as you come down, go ahead and stay in pyramid pose for 3 cycles of breath. Continue to use those little pauses to anchor you, tether you to this moment, ground you, center you. Letting the head be heavy so you get a nice release in the back of the neck. Just breathing. Good. And then perfect. Right back up. We're going to stay here for a moment, really reaching down through the feet and reaching up through the hands. Bring your palms together and then exhale, hands to the heart. Good. And now from here, take your hands back to your hips. And you're going to widen your stance again for warrior one more time. And then we're going to bend into that front knee and we're going to reach our arms up, coming back into warrior one. Good. Pushing down through that front foot. Anchoring through the back foot. Feeling a strong connection to your center. There's a zipping up of your midline from the navel all the way to the lower ribs. Good. Join your palms together at your heart. Exhale. And then go ahead and hop your back foot all the way up to the top of the mat. Now feel free to shake out your legs here a little bit, shake out your arms, kind of releasing the body. You know, sometimes when we practice, I think I've mentioned this before, but when we do our asana practice, some tension builds up. And it's nice to just take a moment in between and let it all go before we move to the next side. So I want you to step your left leg way back now, setting up for warrior one here on the second side. Back heel angles in and roots down. And then we bend into the front knee and let it float right over that front ankle, making sure it's in line with the second toe. We're going to take the arms up. Good. Now keeping the front knee bent, as you exhale, you're going to lean over your front leg and sweep your arms back behind you. This is like a locust pose arms. Broaden your shoulders and then inhale and come up. Good. Exhale and release forward over the front leg. And then inhale and float back up. Good. Doing that one more time. Beautiful work. Now stay here and pause in warrior one. If on this side you want to test your balance a little bit, bring your palms together above your head. Really straighten your elbows and then tilt your head back and gaze up towards your thumbs. And just notice how that changes things. Maybe it creates a little bit more of a challenge. Good. And then exhale and release your arms. Go ahead and grab a hold of your hips. And you're going to hop your foot halfway up, setting up for pyramid pose. The front leg is straight. We want to turn our chest so that it's facing forward. Yes. Zip up the midline here. We're going to keep our hands to our hips this first one. So I want you to hug your elbows behind you. Feel your shoulder blades hug towards one another too. Open your chest as you inhale. Maybe lift your heart here. Think of moving your shoulder blades in towards the back of your heart. And then as you exhale, try to keep that nice broadness across the chest as you fold over the front leg. Good. And then let your hands find the blocks. Good. Now check in with the hips, the feet, the legs. Find your alignment here. Making sure that the legs are really strong. The knees are subtly bent. Now as you inhale, you're going to float your arms out to the side and up. Use your back leg too to anchor you. Good. And then as you exhale, folding over that front leg. Now if it becomes too much to fold, just know that you can bend that front knee as much as you need to accommodate. We're going to inhale and come up. Good. And then exhale and fold, coming down, pausing for 2 cycles. Staying here, letting go, releasing, surrendering. When you're ready to, come on back up. Finding the pause at the top, re-lengthening. Good, and then exhaling back into pyramid pose once more and pausing for 3 cycles of breath. Noticing any subtle differences between this side and the right side. And then as you're ready to, we'll come all the way back up. Reaching the arms, staying here for a moment and really lifting. Getting as tall as we can. Good, joining the palms together now. Exhaling the hands to the heart. Now we've got one more warrior one. So you're going to hop your left foot back now, widening your stance. We're going to bend into the front knee once more and take the arms straight up into the air. It's a little counter pose for pyramid pose. Perhaps now in this last warrior one, we want to bend the knee a little more, maybe sinking the hips towards the earth a little bit more if they're ready for it. Stay here and breathe. Good. And then exhale and release your hands to your heart. Beautiful. You're going to hop your left foot all the way up to the top edge of the mat. Nice work. Feel free to shake it out a little bit here, releasing, shaking out the legs. Beautiful work. Those are some nice pyramid poses. We're going to stand tall at the top of the mat. Yeah, let's get rid of those blocks. We don't need those anymore. Let's float the arms up. Big breath in. Exhale back into the standing forward fold, Uttanasana. And then when you get here, go ahead and plant your palms. Step your feet back into downward dog. Push the earth away. Lift the sides of the hips. As the hips lift up and back, reach through the heels. Get a nice little stretch in your calves and Achilles heels. Go ahead, take another deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and let your knees come down to the earth. And we're going to find child's pose. So let's relax our back. Let's relax our shoulders. Softening pose after those standing postures. This might feel good. Just a little bit of respite. Try and relax through the base of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. And let that feeling of softening move down your spine towards your tailbone. Now, I want you to stretch your arms like downward facing dogs. You're going to let your elbows come away from the earth. The elbows are going to straighten, and you're going to glue your hands to the earth as if you are in your down dog. So spread your fingers comfortably wide. And as you inhale, you're going to come up through tabletop pose. You're going to let your body continue to shift forward until your shoulders float over your wrists into a variation of plank pose. You're going to walk your knees in so that they're the distance of the hips, and then I want you to keep them there. And on your next exhale, you're going to shift your hips back towards your heels, but keep your hands glued to the earth. So you're getting a stretch through your arms. And the hips, they may not end up all the way towards the heels. That's okay. This is extended child's pose. On your next inhale, you're going to come forward again, back into variation of plank. And I want you to tone the navel center here from pubic bones or heart space zipped up. And then exhale and shift back. Extended child's pose. Let's do that one more time. Releasing, softening, and then releasing back again. Extended child's pose. Good. And now from here, I want you to come up to tabletop pose. And you're going to swing your legs around so that you can come to sit onto the bum again. And we're going to be lying down. Okay, so I want you to come into Shavasana for a moment. Straighten your legs out, straighten your arms out. Open your palms towards the ceiling. Relax your feet. Let them open up like a book. Let the knees roll open if they want to. Let the upper legs relax. And let's do the same for the arms. Let's relax the fingers. Let's let the palms open. The forearms and elbows and upper arm bones. Let them relax too if they want to. Soften your lower back and your mid back and your upper back, your chest and your abdominals, your ribs. Relax your throat. Resting a while in Shavasana before we move on to our next set of postures. Just so that we don't take any tension with us into the next sequence. So our next sequence of postures are a back bending sequence, and they are strengthening for the back body. And we're going to start with one of the most accessible back bends, bridge pose. It's one of the more humble of all back bends, but really very powerful. It has the ability to give us the strength we need to help alleviate general achiness in the back, especially when we are kind of incorporating it into a regular routine. It's really a wonderful pose. And so let's set up for bridge. We're going to bend our knees and place our feet onto the floor. And then the arms are going to be by our sides like a low V shape. And we're going to rotate our palms so that they're facing down. And now before you do anything at all with the legs and the hips, I want you to press into your hands so that you feel from your hands all the way up to your shoulders, activation. Notice the backs of your arms pressing into the earth. Okay, there's this engagement of your triceps and your upper back muscles. Maybe you can connect to that. Okay, I want that to be a part of your experience when we go through dynamic bridge. So I want you to take a nice deep breath in to start. And as you exhale, I want you to exhale everything. Okay, the whole breath out. Cinch the abs in, pull the belly muscles in, so you feel like you're really creating a corset of sorts around your lower lumbar waist. Connect with your deep abdominal muscles. And now as you inhale, I want you to lift your hips up, but don't lose the engagement of your core. Stay connected to it. The hips are going to come up. You're going to feel your glutes engage, your legs, and you're also pushing into the length of your arms. Good. Now, as you exhale, you're going to come down slowly, and we're just going to barely touch down because I don't want you to lose the engagement of your glutes or your core. I want you to stay with that for these next few rounds. Okay, we're intentionally strengthening. Inhale as you lift up. Squeeze your glutes. Hug your belly muscles. Press into your arms. And then exhale and lower down slow enough so that you stay connected to the engagement of the muscles. Good. Do 3 more rounds at your own breath pace. Let your breath be your guide. Use those little pauses at the top and the bottom of each breath to explore. Now, when you get to the 5th bridge, if the body says okay, stay in the bridge pose. And now, sometimes it's nice to roll the shoulders underneath the back here. So if you'd like to do that, let your palms open up. Bring your shoulder blades towards one another underneath the body and use that for a little extra oomph in the heart. Continue to keep the engagement of your core. Continue to squeeze the glutes. And then as an added Strengthener for the hamstrings and the glutes. If you'd like to, you're going to lift your right heel up like you're wearing a little high heel. And then you're going to set it down. And then you're going to lift your left heel up like a little high heel, but don't let your right hip drop. Keep the hips level and then set it down. And then try that again on both sides if you can. Always paying attention to that little edge of resistance. Good work. Those little high heel movements, those are tough. I'm working with those right now in my body. Well, I'm really wanting stronger hamstrings. mine are kind of weak. And so let's go ahead and hug our knees in now, and we're just going to gently rock a little side to side. Good work. And then we're going to now slip the hands behind the backs of the legs. And we're going to rock and roll our way up to the feet. Nice. And then we're going to set up for one more backwards bend. My beloved Shalabhasana, locust pose. My other humble but very powerful back bend that I love to do. Let's switch over to our hands and knees. And we're going to come into that variation of plank pose. Okay, so you're going to walk your hands forward a couple of inches in front of the shoulders. Shift the weight forward so shoulders float over the wrists. And then go ahead and lower down, all the way down to your mat. Good, nice work. And now I want you to point your toes, okay, and activate your legs again. And press your pubic bone down. So you're really grounding down through the lower half of the body. You can rest your forehead onto the mat. And then I want you to bring your arms alongside your waist. And you're going to rotate your palms so they're facing in towards one another. These are those locust arms we were playing around with in Warrior One earlier. Okay, so I want you to lift your shoulder heads. Bring your shoulders onto your back. Shoulder blades move towards one another, kind of like bridge. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift your head, lift your heart, but keep grounding down through the lower half of the body. So we're moving into half locust first. Reach so much through your fingertips that your arms float away from the earth a little bit. Sit here and breathe. And then exhale and release. Release the head, release the chest, release the shoulders, the arms. And now do that again. Lift your shoulder heads, lift your chest, lift your head, lift your arms. If you'd like, reach back so much through the toes that the legs float away from the earth now, coming into full locust pose. Good. Stay here for 2 breaths, if you can. And then release. Good. One more locust pose, yogi's choice, either half or full. Inhaling to lift. Staying for 3 cycles of breath, if you can. Listening to the body. When you start to feel a little cramp or a little seizing up, that's your body telling you, oh, I've hit my limit for strength training today. Come back to me in a couple of days and we'll try again. And then releasing. Nice work. Now go ahead and make a little pillow with your hands and rest your forehead down and bend your knees and just sway your legs side to side. Gentle, gentle release for the back. Good work. From here, we're going to straighten the legs. And we're going to bring the hands under the shoulders. And we're going to press out to tabletop. And then we're going to shift our hips back into child's pose. And release the back once again, relaxing. Good. Okay, now from here, we're going to make our way back onto our bum. So we're going to find a seated position now. And we're going to set up for our little peak pose tonight, which is seated forward fold. Beautiful Paschimottanasana. So Paschimottanasana means stretch of the west. And in India, Traditionally, they would sit facing the east, and so that meant that the back is the west. And so whenever they came into a forward fold, they were stretching the west. So Paschimottanasana, or any of our forward folds, is about awareness of the back of the body. It's more than just the stretching of the muscles or, becoming flexible. It's more than that. It's about awareness. And so we're going to use the breath to gradually come into holding Paschimottanasana a little bit longer. And then when we come into the forward fold and we hold for 3 cycles of breath, let your awareness be in your back body. Let your breath help bring more awareness into the places that we can't quite find just yet with consciousness. Okay? So first, I want you to straighten your legs out in front of you. And make sure that your feet are rotated so that the toes are pointing straight up, parallel-ish. And then I want you to flex your feet. So spread your toes and reach through your heels so you feel your leg muscles activating, but the knees are slightly bent. Okay? Strong legs, maybe a feeling of the legs pushing down into the mat. And then you're going to bring your hands right next to your hips, your fingertips on the ground. And you're going to bring your elbows behind you here. And we're going to use that to help lengthen our spine. Okay? It's important that we stay zipped up through the midline. Remember that feeling of connecting to your core. That's important here when we do our forward folds. It helps to support the back. Okay, so lifting tall through the crown of the head. And now as you inhale, you're going to float your arms out to the side and up. Big breath in. Good, and as you exhale, you're going to fold over the legs. Now keep the engagement of the core, so pull the belly button towards the spine. Good. And then we're going to inhale and come right back up. Arms up. Good. Find a little pause here, like a wave. And then exhale and fold. Good. And then stay for 2 cycles of breath here and just explore. Put your feeling attention into the backs of the legs, the backs of the hips. And then as you inhale, you're going to come up again. We're going to find a little pause, a little suspension. And then we're going to exhale and fold again, coming down and staying for 3 cycles of breath. Feeling into the backs of your ribs with every inhale. Feeling into the backs of your shoulders and relaxing the tops of your shoulders, especially that place where the neck meets the tops of your shoulders. Forward folds offer us this opportunity to get quiet, to search for that peace within, to connect to the stillness that's available to you at any time, to connect to our true nature, peaceful, calm, compassionate, kind. Now take your time on your next inhale. You're going to come all the way up. And we're going to stay here for a moment, just a brief moment. Inhale. And then exhale and release. Ah. Nice. Beautiful. Let's bend our knees. We're going to lie down onto our back one more time. And now we're going to do a little gentle twist. So yogi's choice, your favorite reclined simple twist. This is a moment of pure release, pure bliss. Twists just ringing out, a letting go again. Like I've heard the analogy of the soaked sponge being turned and twisted and releasing all the water. Let this twist help to kind of gently massage your internal organs and your digestive tract. Gently massage all the vertebrae, your spine. And then go ahead and twist to the other side. Favorite twist. Now we're going to move into Shavasana, our final resting pose. So I want you to make yourself comfortable, whatever you need to support your body in our final practice, our final pose. Take a moment to stretch your legs out long. Let your arms be relaxed. I like to move the arms away from the body just enough for the armpits to breathe. And then we're going to use the breath in one more way to help us move into a deep state of relaxation. This is a short retention of the breath at the bottom of the exhalation. So I want you to start by taking a nice deep breath in, filling all the way up to your comfortable capacity. And then exhale nice and slow. Now, as you exhale, when you get to the bottom, the very bottom of your exhale, you're going to hold the exhalation. And now you don't have to breathe in right away, but just wait for your body's interest to breathe. It'll let you know when it needs the next breath in, and when it does, allow it to flood into you like a fresh wave of prana. And then enjoy some natural breath, some gentle, easy breath. And then we'll try this one more time. It's called Baya Kumbhaka Pranayama, retention on the exhale. You're going to inhale all the way up to your comfortable capacity, filling up the belly, the ribs, filling up the chest. And then slowly exhale all the way down to your bottom. And when you get to the bottom, maybe explore pushing out just a little bit more. So you're at your emptiest, and then you're going to hold. And you're just going to wait. Wait for your body's interest to breathe. It will always let you know. And then when it does, let that fresh breath flow into you. Fresh energy, fresh prana, replenishing you, filling you back up. Your cup runneth over. That breath is circulating in your lungs, around your heart, clearing, clarifying, cleansing. It's moving through all your internal organs, clearing out. Let it move through your arms and your legs now. Gentle breath, gentle breath. Let the breath move into the brain. Let your brain know that it's okay to be relaxed. It's okay to clear. It's okay to be still. Let your body know that it's okay to rest. It's okay to relax. It's okay to let go. Let your body, mind, and heart know that right now, in this moment, you're safe. You're loved. You're cared for. Now we're going to spend a few moments just resting, just being, allowing yourself now to just be. And now the soft sound of a Tibetan bowl will bring us out of our meditation. Gently begin to deepen your breath, inviting in now some small and intentional movements, little wiggles of fingers and toes to slowly awaken your body. Allow yourself to move in any way that would feel good. Maybe it's a reach of the arms, maybe it's a stretch of the legs, anything you want to do. And then we're going to bend our knees, give ourselves a big squeeze, hugging the knees in. And then we're going to make our way up to a seat once again. We'll find our seat with our legs crossed, comfortably sitting up nice and tall. Join our palms together at our heart. I want you to just take a moment to notice how you feel, body, mind, spirit. Notice the connection between all three. That deep connection, that presence with everything that is you. We'll close our practice with an Om. So you take a nice deep breath in. Namaste. Namaste, puppy kisses. She's like, Nama give you kisses, Mom.
They think the Om is like they think that must be calling them.
Like, this is the moment. Bring it in.
We get to come back now? Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you have a blissful rest of your evening, sweet one.
Thank you. I will see you tomorrow afternoon.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Bye.